Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm not streaming to myself today. If you don't know what I'm talking about, inside joke. Anyways, welcome to today's Bitcoin cryptocurrency news. I am George. I am streaming once again this week. Definitely very, very exciting. And if you're not excited about Bitcoin, then I don't know what will. What will excite you, because it is now above $15,000. Yes, that's right. Right now, it's at $15,239 to be exact. And we haven't seen this level for Bitcoin since January of 2018 when the bubble burst. So it's been almost 3 years now to get back to where it was. That's okay, because Bitcoin is heading in the right direction. It's been smashing through some of these previous highs. Of course, 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, and Bitcoin is above 15,000 now. And where is it going to stop? What is the next stop for Bitcoin? Is it at 17,000? Is it at 20,000? Is it at an infinite number? Let's have a good discussion about that today. So, thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, appreciate your support. Make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. I still plan on having a live stream tomorrow. I've been having these at 10:30 yesterday and today. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice already. I don't know if I should change back to 10:30 or stay to 11. I'll just stay with 11 because I don't want to keep changing the time on you guys. But anyways, if you want to know, then make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's when I tweet these out, right? So that you're aware of what's going on. All right, let's get started. There's a lot to talk about, like usual, and then we'll have a lively Q&A, and then I guess we'll go from there. One thing I do want to say, and I mentioned this already, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about, and some of you guys have been saying you'll participate. You know, I've always been saying that once Bitcoin gets past 20,000 and reaches new time high, that we need to have a Vegas party, right? Now, this year is a little bit different because the pandemic's going on, so I'm not sure if it's actually such a good idea. But we're getting close. We're getting up there. We're getting close to 20,000. We're not that far off. So just something to think about. I was thinking about maybe coming up with creating a new Bitcoin address and calling the Vegas Fund. So those of you guys that want to participate, you're dying to go to Vegas to meet me and other of your fellow Bitcoiner holders, maybe you could contribute to that. So I'm just bringing it out there, seeing what the reaction is, whether you guys like that idea or not. If you do, chime in, leave in the comments. I'll come up with it. Maybe tomorrow I'll release it. But just something to think about for those of you guys that really want to hit Vegas and have a good time and celebrate Bitcoin above 20,000. All right, let's get started. So Bitcoin is at 15,235, and today it jumped up over 1,000 points, 7.5%. Not too shabby, not too shabby. Just yesterday, Bitcoin was still below 15,000. And I said, it's just a matter of time. I think yesterday when I started stream was like 14.5 or something like that. And it just kept creeping higher. And then this morning I woke up, I'm like, wow, we're almost at 15,000. And sure enough, we broke through it. And now the train continues. The only thing not to, just to be cautious, the only thing is, if you're looking at RSI and stochastic RSI, they're both extremely high at all time intervals. Okay, so on the 15-minute, it's high. On the 1 hour, it's very high. On the 4 hour, it's very high. On the daily, it's high. Look at that. Look at that candlestick. The only thing is, I guess, weekly, it is high, but it could get higher. So because of Bitcoin's movement, it is in the overbought territory right now, okay, on a shorter time frame. So keep that in mind. Maybe we fall back down to 15,000. Maybe we fall back into 14,000s. Or maybe none of that matters and the train just continues on and then we'll be at 16,000 by the end of today. That could be very possible, because when you see crazy Bitcoin pumps like this, when the momentum and FOMO builds, it only gets stronger, right? And now FOMO is starting to build. It's still not there yet. Most people are still not talking about Bitcoin, not paying attention. But when it gets to 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, 19,000, 20,000, that's when FOMO will really kick in. And I'm going to show you some articles. Kind of shows you that it's building up already, right? Because every single news outlet is starting to talk about Bitcoin, and that's when, FOMO will really hit, when everyone starts talking about it, and we're not even there yet. Something that is a surprise today is that altcoins actually started moving today, finally, after like a month. But you can see Bitcoin dominance is now at 65%. Just a few days ago, it was at 63%. So Bitcoin dominance is still rising. And if you look at last 24-hour and 7-day, right, it's definitely still much higher than most of the altcoins. Like, even though Ethereum is up 8%, it still lags behind Bitcoin. If you look at 7-day, it's horrible. Bitcoin Cash, horrible. Chainlink up great, 11%, but for the week, it's still down 5%. Binance Coin up 7%, but for the week, it's still down 8%, right? So there's a lot of catching up to do with altcoins, and we'll see if this is the start of it, because altcoins have been really lagging for the last month. Let's see what happens. If it could catch up, if it can't. But right now, man, you don't want to be betting against Bitcoin. You don't want to be betting against Bitcoin. All right, so let's talk about some of these articles I'm talking about. I do not have any Dentacoin right now. I don't know. I didn't see you guys comment on the Vegas fund. I guess we could talk about that. Someone is in Vegas already. I guess we could talk about that in a little bit. All right. So number one, Bloomberg. Bloomberg has been covering Bitcoin for a while, but they're continuing on, right? Now they're coming out a lot more articles about Bitcoin. Here's one that says Bitcoin extends rally with chart watchers eyeing 20,000. Okay, I mean, of course, why wouldn't you eye 20,000? That is the ultimate resistance that Bitcoin needs to break, and once it does, it's just a lot of white space, right? There's nothing above. It's unknown territory. It could go from 20,000 to 30,000 within a week. It could go from 30,000 to 50,000 within another week. And who knows where it's going to go. I think the volatility will definitely come back, and FOMO will really, really, really kick in. Really kick in. There's still a lot of people. I know a lot of us in the back of our minds, we're still thinking, okay, even though we're at 15,000, we kind of seen this story before, right? We kind of had this kind of excitement when Bitcoin was going at 14,000. We fell back down. Of course, we had this kind of excitement 2017 when we went to 20,000 and fell back down, right? So I think some of us are still remembering those days. But and you can't discount that. That has happened, right? But just that's why I tell you guys, look at what's going around the world, what's going around with companies. It's different this time around. It's different. It doesn't mean that Bitcoin won't fall. It could, but every time it does, it recovers right back up, and it has just done its thing. Maybe it's taken longer than what people are expecting or wanting, but it always comes back up, and 20,000 is right around the corner. And after 20,000, then it's really, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But anyways, I kind of ranted off there. Bloomberg, covering Bitcoin a lot more now. Also, Fortune is covering Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin bulls eyeing 20,000 price target. Yes, everyone is talking about Bitcoin. If you look in here, they talk about the U.S. elections, right? And then they talk about J.P. Morgan, turning bullish. Paul Tudor Jones turning bullish. Square, of course, bullish. Fundstrat, always been bullish. They've been talking about it for a while, right? Everyone is bullish on Bitcoin right now. And here's one. I was just searching for Bitcoin on Google, and I saw this. Allure magazine, which is a cosmetic makeup kind of magazine for women. Look at this one. Why millennial women in beauty are embracing Bitcoin. So even a magazine that has nothing to do with technology or finance or investing or crypto, is now talking about Bitcoin. This is what I'm talking about. See, this is where you could tell FOMO's starting to build, right? When Bitcoin is just being swirled around everywhere, that's when you know people are going to FOMO in. So it's starting to happen. Like, out of all places, why would Allure magazine talk about Bitcoin, right? So I don't know. Anyways, Bitcoin hits 14.7, so this is obviously a little outdated. This is how fast Bitcoin's going. This was only released 4 hours ago. 3 reasons this rally may see new all-time high. Yeah, I have no doubt that will happen. Here's Plan B's Plans B. No, wait, this is not his. This is just RSI. Where's his stock to flow? I thought this would show the stock to flow. But anyways, without his stock to flow, I have something else to show you guys. So that was not the chart I was looking for. But anyways, if you look at this, the Bitcoin's RSI, these are peak periods, down, right? And this is looking like right here, right? And this actually does look a lot like it reminds me a lot of 2017, but before the parabolic rise. This is where we're at, is more like 2016-ish, where things are gaining, but not as good as 2017. That's what's reminding me. But I'll show you guys in a little bit. Anyways, according to this, leverage may be fueling Bitcoin's rally to the highest price since January 2018. Well, maybe. I don't doubt there's a lot of people that's leveraging everything they have right now, right? So that's where it gets dangerous, because if Bitcoin does fall down, I just mentioned how RSI, stochastic RSI is also very high. If Bitcoin all of a sudden drops down, let's say 1,000 points before recovering, that's where a lot of people get liquidated because of leverage. So that's why you never really want to go all in on leverage. You're really risking it. But anyways, according to this, if you look at the estimated leverage ratio on Binance, it's interesting that they're looking at Binance now, not BitMEX, because we know BitMEX kind of just went away and they can't do their shady things anymore. So now they're looking at Binance. If you look at the leverage ratio on Binance, is obviously increasing while Bitcoin's price is increasing. But there's a few periods in here that's kind of interesting. You see, like, Bitcoin kind of dropped down from here, but this was a lot more sudden drop. See, this is where it shows a lot of people got liquidated. I think this is what it's showing. The same thing over here a little bit. But anyways, so I have no doubt that leverage does play into it, right? But I always stress, you should not be doing it. You should not be taking out collateral. You should not, borrow against what you have to buy in case something happens. Things could turn around and go down. But, if you get liquidated, then you have no chance to ever recover, right? So just be careful. Be careful. It's not dental coin, it's Dentacoin. It's just without the L. Here's another one with elections and everything going on, and I don't know why the states are dragging their feet. I mean, come on, okay? Nevada just announced already, right? Nevada is like trying to be drama queen, saying, no, we're not going to announce on Wednesday. We're going to announce on Thursday. Just freaking announce. There's only like 10,000 votes they need to count. It's the same thing with these other states, like Georgia. They should be announcing. That could flip, but whatever. People are waiting for official, official results in terms of who wins. But anyways, there's a lot of other things going on, like voting senators and congressmen and all this stuff, right? So I didn't know who she was, but Cynthia Loomis from Wyoming, the first woman to be a senator in Wyoming, but she is a big Bitcoin bull. She's been buying and holding since 2013. That's actually when I got involved. Unfortunately, I had weak hands and I got out because of how much Bitcoin and Litecoin fell at the time. But it seems like a lot of people also got involved around that time, because that's when Bitcoin first shot up to $1,000. So kind of opened people's eyes on it. But anyways, she seems like she's very pro Bitcoin and crypto. So with her voice in Washington, right? Maybe she can help make things more favorable. I'm sure this will happen. A lot of people always ask me, why wouldn't U.S. government ban Bitcoin or something, right? if they feel threatened or something. They're not. Most of these congressmen, I mean, she came out and said it, but there's so many other senators and congressmen that probably have large bags and they just won't admit it, right? But maybe pretty soon they will admit it because it's the cool thing to say now. But anyways, that's why they'll never ban it, because most of them probably have a ton of Bitcoin. And second of all, the IRS rather tax people than try to ban people, right? So that's the reason why Bitcoin won't ever get shut down. And plus, it's just too hard to, really. It's just really, really hard to. Anyways, so we do have another pro-Bitcoin senator now that will be pretty much helping sway others into favorable Bitcoin and crypto laws. That's nice. What else? MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy's a big Bitcoin bet. Remember, they went pretty much all in, and this is not something that's very smart, especially for a business to go all in. They bought $425 million worth of Bitcoin, and that strategy has paid off. They're up 32%, and now they have made $133 million in profit. That's not too shabby. That's actually really, really nice. Square, who invested less, $50 million. But yeah, they enjoy a favorable return of $18 million too. Not that really helps Square, but it a little bit. But all these companies that recently have said, yeah, I'm going basically all in on Bitcoin or investing some in Bitcoin, they're up big. They're up big, right? So it's still funny that sometimes there's still a few people, I guess maybe they just don't have any Bitcoin, or they're just like, they're hexers or something. They'll still say like, oh, Bitcoin is still down. What are you so happy about? Well, yeah, it's down, but still, not everyone bought at peak, and a lot of people bought at lower prices. They've been dollar cost averaging, and those people are about to become millionaires pretty soon. So, but there's always haters, right? Because they've been left out. They missed the train, and now all they can do is try to bring other people down to their level. But yeah, don't fall for that. Don't fall for that. Stay the course. You know what's important. You know that Bitcoin will lead to life-changing wealth. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. What else? PayPal. We know about PayPal, right? Most of us does. Or most of us do. Man, I don't know. I don't know how to talk today. Anyways, PayPal, of course, made big splash a week ago, and so they're going all in on Bitcoin, right? So now there's more hints about the wallet, right? And some of the things that are going to build in the wallet. But basically, what it comes down to is 26 million vendors that use PayPal. In the near future, they're all going to accept Bitcoin because of PayPal. So PayPal is going to make that happen, right? 26 million vendors, small businesses, or even large businesses, one day in the near future will be accepting Bitcoin. That is huge. PayPal is the biggest whale out there in terms of like a payment processor, right? They handle it all. And I've always said, it's so easy for PayPal to just integrate Bitcoin, and that's what they're doing. But besides that, they're trying to make a useful wallet with custody service involved, right? Who knows if they're going to introduce insurance, but they're definitely going to introduce trading, right? They're going all in. And just yesterday, I covered a story how only about 10% of people in the U.S. is opened up to this new service, and 90% will be opened up within the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's in the U.S., and then they're going to open up worldwide. But think about that. This next 2 weeks is going to be very hot for Bitcoin. Imagine Bitcoin being above 17,000, 18,000, who knows, 20,000 by the end of by 3 weeks, right? By the end of November. Maybe when that happens, when PayPal opens up, imagine that FOMO of people like, oh man, I need to buy Bitcoin. Now PayPal makes that happen, and I don't know the number of users that PayPal has, but it's probably in the hundreds of millions. I mean, think about that kind of FOMO that may be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. That's a lot. That's a lot. What else? I think that's it. The last thing is, yeah, SEC changes rules, making fundraising easier for crypto firms. I'm not sure if that's a good thing, but remember, all these firms that held IEO or ICO or whatever, they're all being attacked. Most of them get a hand slap. They have to pay a fee and they can move on, right? So that's what the SEC is all about, just basically dishing out fines and so forth. But it seems like they're kind of warming up to crypto, realizing that all cryptos are Ponzi's, that there is a use case for them. So they're trying to make fundraising a little bit easier, but we'll see how this goes. I mean, SEC have always said that if you want to do an ICO or something, come to us, work with us, and we'll make it happen, right? But it seems like no firm wants to do that because they don't want, like the SEC, and they don't want to do that. But we'll see. We'll see how it is going forward as Bitcoin breaks through 20,000, as alts get really hot again. I'm sure a lot more ICOs, IEOs, whatever else there is, whatever other acronym there is, they'll be coming back around, right? And let's go. It's probably gonna be like 2017 again. You can probably see a lot more of that. All right. Anyways, I covered a lot. Right there within the last 20 minutes. But anyways, the last thing I want to show you guys before going to Q&A is this chart. Okay, so I haven't shown you guys this chart for a while now. So this BLX, this is just charting Bitcoin for a longer period, ever since 2011, right? So it goes back pretty far. So before, I would used to show this. I'm like, all right, let's look at where Bitcoin is now in terms of this 4-year cycle it's in versus the last 4-year cycle. And everything is lining up almost to a T. And that is really good because we're coming to the parabolic phase. So going back to 2014 when Bitcoin topped out, and then the bubble burst, it started coming down, right? And this is unfortunately when I got involved with Bitcoin and Litecoin. I got involved when the bubble burst and it was starting to come down. So Bitcoin dropped to about $160 or something like that. And then it found a floor, went sideways for a little bit, and then started coming back up, right? And then rightfully, like around 2016, somewhere mid to late 2016 is when the halving event happened, right? So Bitcoin started coming up, and after halving event, the growth started accelerating a little bit. But you know, I charted some of these things, like in terms of the bottom from the top. You know, Bitcoin fell about 86%, right? And this time around, from 2017 all the way down to 2018, Bitcoin fell about 84%. So pretty close, right? 86 to 84%. And then I looked at how long it took before Bitcoin went back to its all-time high after dropping. And it took roughly 134 days, okay? So about a little bit less than a half year, okay? So that's how long it took. So I extrapolated that. I'm like, okay, so how long is it going to take, right? I just brought this out to the end of December of this year. So it was 160 days if that happens. But of course, Bitcoin could hit 20,000 before. You know, if it hits at the end of November, then it will be exactly at 134 days. That would be crazy if that happened, but it could, right? But you could see the similarities here. They're very, very similar. So it took 134 days to get back to its previous high, and then it broke through, and then it just went up parabolically, okay? So I drew this out probably the beginning of this year, January or February of this year, somewhere around there. So it's been a while now. So it's been about 10 months, 9 months. Back then, Bitcoin was just coming up from here, right? And that's when we hit like 10 or 11,000 at that time. I'm like, okay, so we need to meet this, or in order for Bitcoin to meet this, to be able to reach 20,000 again within 160 days, you know, it probably needs to do something like this. And I drew out these arrows. Of course, it was going to be up and down, but I didn't want to draw all the up and downs. I'm like, okay, so if you go probably over here and then it goes sideways, right? Boom, and then boom, right? Obviously, Bitcoin went off course a little bit because we did have that sudden flash crash down to 3,800. Had we not had that, we would have been exactly. But Bitcoin is resilient, very, very resilient. So you could see now that I have to zoom in a little bit, that despite the fact that this happened, Bitcoin just came right back up, right? And now it's inching closer and closer and closer to this mark, which is 20,000. So if you look at this, Bitcoin is really right on track, okay? It's not off track at all. Despite this happening, and I know this scared the hell out of a lot of people, and I hate myself for not going all in when Bitcoin was at 4,000 earlier this year. But just look at it. It's coming right back up. It's going to hit 20,000. The way it's going to hit 20,000 pretty soon. And then you know what happens? So this is the point, like roughly over here. The last time it went back to all-time high, about $1,200. Then it went from $1,200 to $20,000 within a single year. That's what happened. And that's roughly 1,500%. Okay, 1,500%. So yeah. So, oh yeah, and here's another thing. So after it hit, it took 49 days for Bitcoin to hit. Is that right? 49 days? No. Oh, maybe. No, 340. I'm sorry, that's not right. 343 days. I'm looking at bars, not. Sorry, I did that wrong. I did that wrong. So not 49 days, 343 days, right? All right. So here, 343 days. Let's just assume that it's going to be the end of this year when Bitcoin hits 20,000. You wait 343 days, basically a full year, right? And if Bitcoin goes up the same amount, 1,500%, guess where Bitcoin ends up? At $300,000. Is it wishful thinking? Maybe. But Bitcoin did it before. It went up 1,500% within a year. So why can't it do it now, right? Especially when you have big companies that's getting involved. You have big financial gurus that's getting involved, right? You still have the holders. You still have retail investors. Now you have companies like PayPal that's making it easy to FOMO in. Who's to say that Bitcoin can't go up and flip above gold? I mean, there's a lot of people that's really dissing on gold these days too. So that could happen, even if it didn't. Even if it went up 1,000% or 500%, right? I don't think anyone's going to be complaining because that's all above $100,000. So this is coming. We're right there. I mean, we're right there. There's not too much time. We got 2 months left for the rest of this year, right, to get to 20,000. There'll probably be some up and downs, right? But overall, we're moving in the right direction. We can hit 20,000 by the end of the year. And then 2021 is this period, right? After we break 20,000, like I said, it's the unknown. There's no upper resistances. There's no whatever that people like to chart, looking at past history or whatever. There's nothing above 20,000. It's the Wild West. So who knows? Who knows how fast things go up or crazy afterwards? And afterwards, if it goes down 86%, again, let's assume that Bitcoin hits 300,000 and then it drops down 86%, Bitcoin will be at still $44,000. It'll still be over $40,000, right? So even then, it's still too expensive for most people. This is why I've been preaching that you got to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you can while you still can, while it's affordable, right? Even at 15,000. And I've been saying that at 6,000, 3,000, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. I'll say at 20,000 too. It's still somewhat attainable, at least to get a fractional portion, right? To get a few sats. You want to buy 0.1 Bitcoin, right? It's $1,500. It could still happen. You want to buy one Bitcoin, $15,000. It's a lot of money, but some people can make that happen, right? But imagine at $300,000 to buy 0.1 Bitcoin costs you $30,000. It becomes really hard for people to get in and FOMO at that point, right? They can, but the amount they buy is going to be much smaller than the amount that you have. And that's the name of the game, to accumulate as much Bitcoin as you can while you still can, right? And even if it falls to $40,000 from $300,000, which can happen, it's still $40,000. It's still gonna cost you $40,000 to buy one Bitcoin when it's only gonna cost you $15,000 right now. See, it's still going to be cheap if you buy now versus where it could be afterwards. Anyways, hopefully you guys got that. Right now this 4-year cycle is following the previous four-year cycle pretty accurately. So very, very, very excited. I'm just gonna leave this on here. I'm just gonna leave this on for people that are tuning in so they could see the potential of Bitcoin. All right, I rambled on too long. I'll let you guys talk. So let me do some Q&A. When to skim profits? Michael, hey. There's no easy way to take profits. You just have to do it, right? If you have a ton of money and you just think that it's time to, or I should say a ton of Bitcoin or crypto, whatever, that you shouldn't be so greedy, that a dip will be coming, right? You could take some off the table. But right now, right now is when Bitcoin is moving, into this last year of the 4-year cycle, the parabolic phase. It's going to be volatile. It's going to be up and down, right? But to time these tops and bottoms is really hard. Really, really hard. Like 50% of the time, it may work. 50% of the time, you may lose more money. You may lose more Bitcoin by trying to do so, right? So you have to set a schedule for yourself. If you feel uncomfortable, you feel like things are getting too wacky, just take some off the table. Just have some cash on the side just in case. But you have to decide when that is, right? If it's every 10%, every 20%, every 50%, whatever, you have to decide. PayPal has been accumulating for the last 3 years. I mean, I remember someone telling me that they knew someone that worked within PayPal, and that employee told her that PayPal has been accumulating. For what reason, we don't know, but now we know because they're offering trading services. They need to have Bitcoin on hand to be able to do it. They're probably not buying now. They've probably been buying, throughout these last 3 years, and they've got them cheap. That is why they're offering what they are now, right? Crypto trading services. Now they're looking to buy a custody service. They're going all in. They're really going all in. So they've been accumulating for a while now. PayPal is bad for my Square stock. Get both. Buy both. They're both very bullish on Bitcoin. I would say any stock that's involved with Bitcoin right now is probably a good buy. Even MicroStrategy stock may be a good buy. I haven't looked into it, so I don't know. But seeing how they went all in on Bitcoin and they're making a ton of money from it, probably people are paying attention to it. They basically, whatever they're doing as a business intelligence company, it doesn't even make sense anymore. You would only buy their stock as a big Bitcoin play right now because they put all their money into Bitcoin. So, I mean, if you think about it, they're just a Bitcoin play now. GBTC is also going up. I was looking at it this morning. GBTC is going up, but it's not going up as much as Bitcoin. But if you really want to have some exposure and you really don't want to buy Bitcoin yourself, you just want to buy a stock, you can. I mean, look at this. This looks awfully a lot like Bitcoin's chart, right? This is when Bitcoin hit 20,000. So according to this, it'll be around what, $38 a share, and then it went up to about $18 a share. Now it's See, this is how you could tell, right? Sometimes it's not good to buy the GBDC because right now, obviously, Bitcoin is 15,000. It's above the 14,000 that we hit back in what 2019. But if you look at this, it's still at the same point when Bitcoin hit 14,000, right? So even though it tries to correlate with Bitcoin, it's not 100%. Obviously, holding Bitcoin is going to be much better because GBDC, of course, Grayscale, they want to make money, right? They take fees out from the trust, so it's not going to be as good as Bitcoin. But if you really had to, you really don't want to deal with Coinbase or any exchanges or even PayPal or Square, you could settle to just buying GBDC. CryptosRUs, if that was the case, okay, it would be tanking ready because it's pretty obvious right now, like who's gonna win, right? So if people thought that it would be bad for market, bad for capital gains, the stock market and BTC would be selling off right now, and it's not. So I don't know. You put one and one together. Jake, I appreciate that. Yeah, my mom is regretting. I've been telling her too for a while now, like, hey, dollar cost average when you can, right? And she never believes me. Never did anything. Now she's trying to get money in, right? So that's how it always is. You look at the results. There's basically I don't know. Someone said this yesterday. It basically comes out to Nevada. Really, it looks like the remaining states, Trump is gonna win, and then Biden only needs 6 votes. So that's Nevada, right? So Nevada is acting like a drama queen, right, or diva. They could have reported yesterday, but they didn't. So we'll see. I mean, there's still a chance that Trump wins. But who knows what's going to happen either way. Kylo. Welcome. I don't know if you guys caught, and maybe you guys could chime in, right? So a lot of you guys still remember that I pushed to go to Vegas at 20,000, right? And that could be right around the corner. So I don't know what you guys feel like. Some of you guys may want to head over there. Maybe we should start some kind of Vegas fund for everyone, right? So everyone can partake with all these profits. Maybe you can donate a little bit, and then we can have even a grander party at Vegas. But the timing is not right. The timing is really not right. So I don't know if that should happen now or later in 2021, probably later in 2021, but I'm going to start throwing that idea around. Some of you guys, I think, will like that, but just think about it. Think about it if you guys want to go to Vegas right now or not, or end of the year, I should say. I do anticipate Blade Runner, congrats. But I remember Blade Runner for a month or so. You were very, very negative. You were very, very negative on Twitter. I did not enjoy it, but glad to see that you came around. Kayla, I do expect in the near term there will be some kind of pullback, but BTC is so strong right now. I don't know when that's going to be. The pullback could be after we hit 17,000, right? Actually, I changed the title of this stream. BTC next top is 17,000. It possibly could be, which is another 2,000 points. So it's all the way up here. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at, some of these stops from 2017, 2018, you have to go all the way back here now. I mean, there's some smaller stops. Okay, like here's one at 16,000. So there's one at 16,000, and then there's 17,000, and then it basically goes to 20,000. There's some smaller stops in between. But basically, 16,000 is next, right? Of course. obvious, and then 17,000. I do think that both are right around the corner. Now, with that said, I did start the stream saying that if you look at RSI and stochastic RSI on all time frames, it's high. BTC is in overbought territory. So it could be pulling back anytime now. It could be pulling back now, or it could be pulling back at 16,000, or it could be pulling back at 17,000. But it will be pulling back. But I do anticipate that if it does, it's just going to come right back up again, right? So a pullback could be looking like something like this. So it went from 12,000 all the way down to about 10,000, 9,800, and then it just recovered back. So it could happen at 17,000 where we pull back all the way down to maybe even 14,000 or 15,000 where it is and then continue on. Or it could happen at 16,000 and pull back to maybe 14,000 and continue on. I do anticipate something like that. Or maybe it won't be as drastic, but if you look at hourly, 4-hour, daily, and weekly, everything is super high right now. Everything is super high. So there could be a pullback in the near future. But every time BTC pulls back, for me, I consider a buying opportunity now. I just got done saying the name of the game is accumulate as much as you can. And I really regret I didn't accumulate a lot more when BTC was at 4,000, 5,000 earlier this year. But right now, I still think at 15,000, still reasonable to accumulate, okay? Because when Bitcoin hits 20, 40, 50, 100, $300,000, at that point, it's just really, really hard to accumulate. Imagine Bitcoin at $100,000 or $200,000, right? You have to buy 0.01 to be able to, I guess, to make it affordable, right? When Bitcoin's at 200,000, to buy 0.01 would cost you $2,000, right? Think about that. Think about how much you own. You're more than 0.01 already, right? Most of you guys are more than 0.01. But in the future, if your friends or family, coworkers, whoever wants to buy at that time, man, that's just so high. So that's why I still think still a good time to accumulate as much as you can. Set a schedule for yourself, dollar cost average, because it's going to go much higher. It's going to go much higher. So all these small dips here and there, could be something like this. Bitcoin went from 13.8 all the way down to 13, right? So that was an 800-point drop. I think we're going to see something like that in the near future. It could happen at 16,000. It could happen at 70,000. Well, we'll see like something like that and then continue right back up. So. Why should BTC go up very fast though? More chance it goes up slowly, steady. It's not going up very fast. It has been going up slowly. I mean, this is tame compared to what happened before. This is very tame. Look at how long these periods were, right? Look at this. This is like slow and steady, slow and steady. Then we had a sunrise and a slow and steady, right? Now we had a sunrise kind of like this, and I anticipate when it stops, it's going to be like something like this, right? Slow and steady. The reason why it's picking up is not due to FOMO. You talk to people on the street, no one talks about Bitcoin right now. So what's happening right now is not due to FOMO. What's happening right now, in my opinion, is you have people like Grayscale or companies like Grayscale that is buying a ton of Bitcoin every single day and every single week. Grayscale bought $200 million worth of Bitcoin just last week alone. Who knows this week, maybe they're buying $300 million worth of Bitcoin. And you have a lot of other players that's buying behind the scenes that you don't hear about, right? Like PayPal all of a sudden announced they're offering Bitcoin trading services. But they've been accumulating for the last 3 years. And now there's a lot more companies, I think, behind the scenes that's also buying. And you just don't hear about it, right? I think these companies buying out Bitcoin is why it keeps going up and up and up and up in a slow fashion. That's why you don't really see a pump. But I do think some of these pumps are caused due to shorts being liquidated, short covering and stuff like that. And sometimes, the leverage people, they just get wrecked and then you have a big jump like that. But ultimately, Bitcoin has been moving slowly up and up and up and steadily. And that's been great. It's been really great. Unfortunately, while it's been going up, been times I'm like, man, I wish it would come down so it's a better buy. But those those days just don't come anymore. It just keeps continuing upwards. I mean, you think about Grayscale buying so much. It's not themselves buying it. They're buying it because investors are giving them money and say, hey, go buy Bitcoin and put in this trust. That's what's happening, right? So think about all the rich whales out there that is now starting to pour their millions and tens of millions and hundreds of millions and billions into Bitcoin. And there's just not that much to go around anymore. The miners, after the halving event, there's not that much Bitcoin that's being mined, and every single one being mined is being bought up by Grayscale alone already. And think about everyone else that wants a piece, right? Johnny, are you only asking that because you wanna see my infomercial about XRP, or are you serious? Hey, mining, good for you. Are you mining with ASIC miners? If you are, great. I never got into Bitcoin mining. I've only ever mined Litecoin. Still, it's fun to have mining going on, right? It's like running like a money tree for yourself. What? There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people fans of Dentacoin. I used to love checking out their blog to see their progress, their weekly or monthly progress, because they would say, "Oh, we added like 3 dentists this month." I'm like, "Are you serious? You think that that's actually good progress?" I wonder if I can find a blog again. Contract address. Where's the blog? Let's see if they've been updating. Dentacoin competition on LA token over 500,000. No, yeah, 500. No, 500 million DCN in prizes. Did any of you guys participate? Did any of you guys win any of the DCN? See, here's the other thing that I've always said it was ridiculous about Dentacoin is look at the total supply and look at the circulating supply, right? So they're able to give out 500 million worth of DCN is because they hold $8 trillion DCN. they hold 8 trillion of it, yet the circulating supply is only at 700 million. So that's 7.4 trillion DCN that they still own themselves, they hold, that they could release out into the public. Think about how ridiculous that is. There's no other crypto company that has a circulating supply that low versus the total supply. Anyways, don't be buying Dentacoin. Do I ever think Bitcoin will reach 1 million? It'll be really tough for Bitcoin to reach 1 million. I think it can happen, but something drastic has to happen. Like, really, honestly, fiat is no longer being used. Everyone switched over to Bitcoin. Something like that. Like, you have to have something really, really drastic for it to go up to 1 million. It could happen. It could happen. Maybe everyone, all the countries get rid of gold. You know, instead of holding gold as a reserve, people hold Bitcoin. If that happened and countries are doing it, maybe it could happen, right? Who knows? What do you want? ETH? ETH is ETH. I would not be buying ETH over Bitcoin at this point. Let's just put it that way, okay? Ethereum and other altcoins, especially the big caps, I think they're gonna be fine. They're gonna move up in the market as Bitcoin goes up. They're gonna go up too. Um, but right now, when Bitcoin is bullish, really really bullish, and has all the momentum, I just don't see any of them outperforming Bitcoin. So right now, name a game, accumulate as many Bitcoins as you can. So that's why I would buy Bitcoin over Ethereum at this point. I don't get your point, low roller scratcher. Don't forget a lot of YouTubers jump bandwagon on crypto since it helped Pokemon sports cards go up. No, it didn't. At least not sports cards. Sports card channels is not doing well at all. So I don't get your point. I just got done saying no. BTC, Ethereum is not better than Bitcoin. So why would you ask that question? Uh, why do you think? What do you think about Vet? Vet is fine, but again, it's an altcoin right now, and it's just the momentum got sucked out. Basically, everything has been sucked out for the last month or so. Yesterday, I got done saying if you're the type you want to throw your contrarian hat on, and you want to buy when everyone else is selling, this would be a good time to buy alts if you think about it, because everyone's switching over to BTC as it's going up, and alts are just struggling. You look at the last 7-day performance, most of them are in red, right? Including VeChain, which is down 6% over the last week, and that includes today's 4% or 5% rise. So if you're altcoin holder, you're bag holder, and you're like thinking, should I be buying now? Actually, it wouldn't be a bad idea to buy some, because right now everyone is getting out and getting the Bitcoin. However, just know that you may be waiting a while before altcoin season comes, right? I think altcoin season will be the second half, latter half of 2021. I think that's when Bitcoin is really sky high, and some people start taking out profits and maybe then putting into altcoins, and then altcoin season will really come. But just know that that may happen. That may happen. Did I sell my alts yet? If not, why? I have some, and this last month I really regret having some because my BTC value in my portfolio has been tanking. There's days where Bitcoin just continues to do well, and I look at my portfolio and it's going down. Like the USD value goes down and my BTC ratio goes down, which is like the worst thing you could have, right? If your USD value didn't go down, but your BTC ratio went down, that's bad too. But if you have both going down, which is what's been happening with alts, makes me wonder why you even hold alts in the first place, right? But then you gotta remind yourself that altcoin season will come. Maybe not right now, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next 6 months, but it will come. Jake and I are getting rid of all these spammers. Top alts, Cardano, Uniswap, Polkadot, those aren't bad. I would throw in Theta, VeChain in there, Binance Coin in there. I think they're all really, very solid projects. Even Tezos and Chainlink. I think they're all solid projects. They're all very solid. What's the difference between BTC, BSV, BCH, and there's going to be another Bitcoin Cash pretty soon. Just know that unless it's BTC, they're all garbage. Just know that. Oh, so here we go. So we're having that small dip. This is what I've been saying, right? I said it a couple times now during the stream. All the indicators are sky high, right? So it's going to come down, and right now it's coming down. Let's see where this goes, but it could recover really fast. So if you're looking for a buying opportunity, look for this. Like the hour. If you look at the hourly, RSI was at 85. So it's going to come down, right? Stochastic was topped out, basically 100. It's going to come down. If both of these fall down to about 50-ish or even below, that'd be good. But I don't know if it's going to fall that far. And a lot of times these like recover really, really fast. Roger, cool it, man. I know you're being sarcastic, but cool it so you don't scare off everyone else in here. I am so hungry. I am so hungry. I was hungry this whole morning. And I'm like, man, I need to eat, but then I need to start to stream. So then I didn't start to, I didn't get to eat. I need to eat. Austin. I bought at 15.2. Now it's dropping. What should you do? You should buy more. That's what you should do. Not financial advice, though. Don't worry about it. If you're buying Bitcoin and you're worried about like 100, 200 point drop, then you need to change your mindset. Bitcoin will go up and down, right? Like this. It went down 800 points. But what happens? It comes right back up and it recovers. There will be days of volatility. The faster it goes up, the more volatility there will be. There will be downs, right? But that's where you got to train yourself to sprout your buys. Don't go all in at once. Sprout your buys. If you get dollar cost average every week, every month, or whatever, that is the best. But the name of the game is to buy as much as you can, hodl, and wait. And wait it out and wait for life-changing wealth. That's how it's been. There's a lot of people, like, there's someone, I'm not going to name who he is, but he's in my insider program. He's been with me for like 3 years now. He has been saying he's been dollar cost averaging pretty substantially, a lot every month. And now he told me how much Bitcoin he has. I'm like, wow, because he's about to become a billionaire, not billionaire, a millionaire pretty soon. That's how much he has bought over the last 3 years, and he has done it right. His average price is probably, below 10,000, probably 8,000. I'm just guessing. I don't know, but that's the way you do it. If you can get into that mindset, think about that, right? Think about ignore the price, ignore short term, right? Of course, if you see it go sky high, it's great. The euphoria kicks in, but the name of the game is to accumulate as much as you can and simply hodl, because if you check a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, whatever, 10 years from now, it's going to be much, much higher than where it is now. So just keep that in mind. I don't like Connie's pizza. I don't like thick crust pizza, like stuffed pizza. I don't like it at all. And I'm not trying to eat pizza anyways because it's horrible for for my diet, which I have gotten off of. I really need to get back on. How many BTC to be a millionaire? Well, you take 1 million and divide by 15,000, and you have your answer. Austin, I'm not sure if that's I'm not sure if that's a good thing then. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you go. I am very, very, very hungry, so I'm gonna let you guys go. This small little dip, wherever it may end up, because now it's recovering again, this is probably a gift. If Bitcoin could fall back down to 14,000 or even below, man, that's a buy opportunity in my opinion. But I don't even know if that's going to happen because it looks like it wants to recover again. So anyways, name the game. Buy as much as you can. you know, without going overboard, right? What you can afford, dollar cost average, spread out your buys, and basically hodl for life-changing wealth. That's it, right? Bitcoin is at 15,000 right now. We have broken through 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, right? These were the resistances. These were previous highs that Bitcoin could not break out of. Bitcoin kept forming lower highs, but now we're breaking all of them. We're shattering through, right? 16,000, 17,000 is next. After 17,000, we're talking about 20,000. And after that, it's the moon. It's the moon. I'm going to change my thumbnail to have a moon every single stream or video after 20,000 because that's where it's heading, right? So anyways, that's it. Smash up the likes, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned tomorrow. I'll keep it at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. Who knows? Bitcoin could be above 16,000 then. All right? Take care, guys. Oh, some of you guys asked about XRP. I do have something to show you guys. Make sure you stay for a little bit and take a watch. All right?
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.